What if I told you that the key to unlocking stable, healthy blood sugar levels wasn't just about grueling hours at the gym or meticulously counting every single carbohydrate? What if the endless cycle of checking your glucose, feeling the energy crashes, and worrying about the future could be managed more effectively with something your body is desperately crying out for, yet something that is often completely overlooked? For decades, we've been told the same story. Eat less, move more. And while there is undeniable truth and power in that advice, for millions of people, it feels like an incomplete puzzle. You try your best. You walk, you cut out sugar, you choose whole grains, and yet, the numbers on your glucose meter remain stubbornly high. It's a frustrating, demoralizing experience that can make you feel like you're failing, or that your body is working against you. But what if the problem isn't your effort? What if it's a critical, missing ingredient? Prepare to hear something that might just change the way you think about metabolic health forever. There is a specific, humble vitamin, one so common we often take it for granted, that has demonstrated a remarkable ability to influence blood sugar. The evidence is so compelling that it has left many doctors and researchers astonished. This isn't about a magic pill or an overnight cure. This is about understanding your body's fundamental operating system and providing it with a crucial command it needs to function properly. We're talking about a nutrient that acts less like a simple vitamin and more like a master hormone, orchestrating hundreds of processes, with a direct and profound impact on how your body uses and stores sugar. This is the story of how one single vitamin could potentially offer more control over your blood sugar than even a dedicated exercise routine. Before we unveil this powerful ally, it's crucial to understand the battlefield itself: your bloodstream and your cells. Think of your body as a bustling city. The food you eat, especially carbohydrates, is broken down into glucose, which is the fuel that powers everything. This glucose travels through your bloodstream, which acts as the city's highway system. However, the glucose can't just enter the buildings, your cells, on its own. It needs a key. That key is a hormone called insulin, which is produced by your pancreas. When you eat, your pancreas releases insulin, which travels to your cells, unlocks their doors, and allows glucose to enter and be used for energy. This is a beautiful, elegant system. When it works, your blood sugar levels remain stable. They rise gently after a meal and fall back to normal as the cells get their fuel. The problem for so many of us, a condition known as insulin resistance, is that the locks on the cell doors become rusty and stubborn. The pancreas sends out the insulin key, but the cell doors don't open easily. The cells are resisting the signal from insulin. Faced with this resistance, the body's natural response is to shout louder. The pancreas works overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to force the cell doors open and get the glucose out of the bloodstream. For a while, this brute force approach works. Your blood sugar levels might stay in a relatively normal range, but underneath the surface, your insulin levels are sky high, and your pancreas is under immense strain. This is the silent, insidious stage where metabolic dysfunction begins. Eventually, after years of this relentless overwork, the pancreas can start to tire out. It can no longer produce enough insulin to overcome the cell's resistance, and that's when blood sugar starts to rise, leading to prediabetes and, eventually, type 2 diabetes. This is where the conventional advice comes in. Exercise is fantastic because it makes your cells more sensitive to insulin. When you work your muscles, they can take up glucose from the bloodstream without needing as much insulin. It's like oiling the rusty locks on the cell doors. A low-carbohydrate diet is effective because it reduces the amount of glucose fuel entering the highway system in the first place. Less fuel on the road means less traffic and less work for the pancreas. These two strategies are the foundational pillars of blood sugar management, and they are absolutely essential. But if you're doing both and still struggling, it means there's another factor at play. It means something is preventing the locks from being oiled effectively, or something is causing systemic issues that even a perfect diet can't fully resolve. The missing link, the nutrient that is shocking the medical community with its efficacy, is vitamin D. Yes, the sunshine vitamin. For years, we've associated vitamin D strictly with bone health, and it is indeed critical for absorbing calcium. But cutting-edge research has revealed its role is vastly more expansive. Vitamin D is a steroid hormone that can influence the expression of over 2,000 genes in your body. That means it can literally turn on and off the genetic switches that control countless bodily functions. And one of its most important jobs is to regulate your metabolic health. Its power over blood sugar is not a single action, but a three-pronged attack that addresses the root causes of insulin resistance and high blood sugar. First, and most critically, vitamin D directly improves insulin sensitivity. Remember the rusty locks on your cells? Vitamin D helps to clean and repair those locks. It works at a cellular level to enhance the function of insulin receptors. When your vitamin D levels are optimal, your cells become more receptive to the insulin key. The doors open smoothly, glucose enters the cells efficiently, and the pancreas doesn't have to scream to be heard. It can go back to producing a normal, healthy amount of insulin. This single mechanism is profoundly powerful. It means your body can handle the glucose from your food more effectively, preventing those dangerous spikes after meals and keeping your baseline levels lower. Second, vitamin D protects the pancreas. It has a direct effect on the beta cells in the pancreas, which are the factories that produce insulin. Chronic inflammation and high demand can damage these precious cells over time. Vitamin D has been shown to protect beta cells, improve their function, and even support their regeneration. It's like providing a state-of-the-art security and maintenance crew for the most important factory in your metabolic city. By keeping the pancreas healthy and functioning optimally, you ensure a steady and appropriate supply of the insulin key for years to come, preventing the burnout that leads to more severe forms of diabetes. Third, vitamin D is a potent anti-inflammatory agent. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is a major driver of almost every modern disease, including insulin resistance. When your body is in a state of constant inflammation, your cells don't communicate properly. This inflammatory static interferes with insulin signaling, making insulin resistance worse. Vitamin D helps to quiet this inflammation. It calms the overactive immune responses that contribute to this systemic irritation. By lowering inflammation, you create a healthier internal environment where your hormones, including insulin, can do their jobs without interference. This effect is so significant that researchers are now exploring vitamin D's role in managing a host of inflammatory conditions, and its connection to metabolic health is one of the most exciting frontiers. The reason this is so revolutionary, and why it can be seen as even more fundamental than exercise in some contexts, is that exercise works on the demand side of the equation, helping muscles sop up excess glucose. Vitamin D works on the signaling side, fixing the broken communication system that caused the problem in the first place. If your cellular signaling is broken, you can run a marathon and still struggle with blood sugar, because the underlying resistance remains. But when you fix the signaling with optimal vitamin D levels, every other effort you make, every walk you take, every healthy meal you eat, becomes exponentially more effective. You're no longer fighting your own body. You're working in perfect harmony with it. The shocking part is not just how effective vitamin D is, but how widespread its deficiency has become. In our modern world, we spend most of our time indoors. We wear sunscreen when we are outside, which blocks the UVB rays our skin needs to synthesize vitamin D. People living in northern latitudes, older adults whose skin is less efficient at production, and individuals with darker skin tones are at an even higher risk of deficiency. It is estimated that over 1 billion people worldwide are deficient in this critical hormone, and it is no coincidence that this deficiency has mirrored the explosion of metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes. Your body could be running on empty, trying to manage a complex hormonal system without its master regulator. So how do you harness the power of this incredible vitamin? The first and most natural way is through sensible sun exposure. The sunshine vitamin is aptly named. When your bare skin is exposed to UVB radiation from the sun, it begins a miraculous process of converting cholesterol in your skin into vitamin D3. The ideal time is typically midday when the sun is highest, as UVB rays are most intense. You don't need to sunbathe for hours. For many people with lighter skin, just 15 to 20 minutes of direct sun on their arms and legs a few times a week can produce a significant amount of vitamin D. However, this is highly dependent on your location, the season, the time of day, and your skin type. For many, especially during winter months, relying on the sun alone is simply not enough. The second route is through food, but this is surprisingly difficult. There are very few foods that are naturally rich in vitamin D. The best sources are fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as cod liver oil. Egg yolks and some mushrooms contain small amounts. To address the widespread deficiency, many foods like milk, yogurt, and breakfast cereals are fortified with vitamin D. While this helps, the amounts are often modest, and you would need to consume very large quantities to reach truly optimal levels for a therapeutic effect on blood sugar. Relying solely on diet to correct a significant deficiency is a very slow and often insufficient strategy. This leads us to the most practical and reliable method for most people: supplementation. Supplementing with vitamin D is an easy, inexpensive, and highly effective way to ensure you are getting enough. When you look for a supplement, you will see two forms: vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. It is crucial to choose vitamin D3, cholecalciferol. This is the same form your body produces from sun exposure and is significantly more bioavailable and effective at raising your blood levels than D2, ergocalciferol. The question of dosage is important, and it's always best to get your levels tested by a doctor to know your starting point. Your doctor can test your 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels. Many experts believe the optimal range is between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter. To reach this, many people require daily doses ranging from 2,000 IU to 5,000 IU, and sometimes more under medical supervision. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's best taken with a meal that contains some healthy fat, like avocado, nuts, or olive oil, to enhance absorption. But the story doesn't end with vitamin D. To truly unlock its full potential and create a robust system of metabolic health, we need to understand that in nutrition, nothing works in a vacuum. Vitamins and minerals are like members of a symphony orchestra. They need to play in concert. Vitamin D is the conductor, but it needs its key musicians to create a masterpiece. If you take high doses of vitamin D without its essential cofactors, you not only limit its benefits but can also create other imbalances. The most important partner for vitamin D is magnesium. Magnesium is the master mineral, involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. Crucially, all of the enzymes that metabolize vitamin D and convert it into its active form are magnesium-dependent. You can be taking plenty of vitamin D, but if you are deficient in magnesium, and a huge portion of the population is, that vitamin D will remain dormant and inactive in your body. It's like having a garage full of high-performance race cars, vitamin D, but no fuel, magnesium, to run them. Supplementing with magnesium not only activates the vitamin D you're taking, but also has its own profound benefits for blood sugar. Magnesium itself plays a direct role in insulin signaling and glucose uptake by the cells. Low magnesium levels are strongly correlated with insulin resistance, so when you combine vitamin D with a good magnesium supplement, like magnesium glycinate or citrate, you create a powerful 1-2 punch against high blood sugar. The next key player in this symphony is vitamin K2. This is another fat-soluble vitamin that works in a dynamic partnership with vitamin D. While vitamin D's primary role is to increase the absorption of calcium, vitamin K2's job is to tell that calcium where to go. It acts like a traffic cop, directing calcium into your bones and teeth where it belongs, and keeping it out of your soft tissues, like your arteries and kidneys, where it can cause calcification and harm. This is incredibly important for long-term health, but it also has metabolic implications. Arterial stiffness caused by calcification is linked to worse metabolic outcomes. By ensuring your arteries remain flexible and healthy, vitamin K2 supports the entire cardiovascular system, which is often under strain in individuals with blood sugar issues. The best food source of K2 is natto, a fermented soy product, but it's also found in grass-fed dairy, cheese, and egg yolks. For supplementation, look for the MK7 form of K2, which is the most bioavailable and long-lasting. Now let's bring in another group of unsung heroes, the B vitamins. This family of vitamins is essential for energy metabolism. They are the spark plugs of your cellular engines, helping to convert glucose into usable energy. For people with blood sugar concerns, one B vitamin stands out: vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. People with diabetes are often deficient in thiamine because high blood sugar causes the kidneys to excrete it more rapidly. This deficiency creates a vicious cycle, as a lack of thiamine impairs your ability to process carbohydrates, leading to even more blood sugar problems. A highly effective, fat-soluble form of thiamine called benfotiamine has shown incredible promise in clinical studies. Benfotiamine can protect the body from the damage caused by high blood sugar, particularly to nerves and small blood vessels. It helps to prevent the formation of harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which are a major cause of diabetic complications like neuropathy, retinopathy, and kidney disease. By assembling this team, vitamin D as the conductor, magnesium as the activator, vitamin K2 as the director, and B vitamins as the energy converters, you are not just managing a symptom, high blood sugar. You are fundamentally rebuilding your metabolic health from the ground up. You are addressing the root causes of insulin resistance, inflammation, and cellular dysfunction. This is a far more sophisticated and sustainable approach than simply trying to burn off excess sugar through exercise. It's about creating a body that is inherently more efficient, more resilient, and better able to regulate itself. Let's imagine how this integrated approach changes your daily life. You start your day with a breakfast of eggs, containing some vitamin D and K2, and avocado, healthy fats for absorption. You take your supplements, a dose of vitamin D3, some magnesium glycinate, and perhaps a K2 and B complex capsule. You go for a morning walk. Now, that walk is no longer just a way to burn calories. With your vitamin D and magnesium levels optimized, your cells are primed and ready to respond to the insulin your body produces. Your muscles take up glucose with incredible efficiency. You feel more energy, not less, from the exercise. Throughout the day, you notice you're not getting that dreaded afternoon slump. Your energy is stable because your blood sugar isn't on a roller coaster. You feel clearer, more focused, and less prone to cravings for sugary snacks because your body is finally getting the fuel it needs inside the cells, rather than having it stuck in the bloodstream. This approach also fosters a kinder, more compassionate relationship with your body. It shifts the narrative from one of punishment and restriction, I have to exercise to burn off what I ate, to one of nourishment and support. I am giving my body the tools it needs to heal itself. This psychological shift is just as important as the physiological one. When you feel that what you are doing is truly working, that your efforts are being rewarded with better numbers and, more importantly, a better quality of life, you become more motivated to continue. The small, sustainable habits of taking your supplements, getting some sun, and choosing nutrient-dense foods become acts of self-care, not chores. It's important to reiterate that this does not dismiss the importance of diet and exercise. They remain cornerstones of a healthy life. What it does is provide the missing context. It explains why two people can follow the exact same diet and exercise plan and have wildly different results. The person with optimal nutrient levels will always have a better outcome because their body's internal machinery is running smoothly. Think of it like tuning a car engine. Diet is the quality of fuel you put in, and exercise is driving the car. But vitamin D and its cofactors are the engine oil, the spark plugs, and the computer system that ensures everything runs efficiently. Without them, even the best fuel and the most driving will eventually lead to a breakdown. Let's put this into perspective. You could spend an hour on a treadmill and burn a few hundred calories, which certainly helps lower your blood sugar temporarily. But by taking a few seconds to swallow a vitamin D supplement, you are influencing your gene expression and cellular function for the next 24 hours and beyond, creating a system-wide improvement in how your body handles all the sugar you consume. The effect of the supplement is systemic and long-lasting, whereas the effect of the exercise is more transient. When you combine them, the synergy is explosive. The exercise you do becomes far more powerful because your body is metabolically primed to take advantage of it. This is why the premise that this one vitamin can be better than exercise holds so much truth. It addresses the root cause at a level that physical activity alone cannot. In summary, the journey to stable blood sugar is not a one-lane road. It is a multifaceted strategy that involves managing your diet, engaging in regular physical activity, and crucially, ensuring your body has the micronutrient tools it needs to function. The evidence is overwhelmingly clear that vitamin D is a master regulator of metabolic health. Its ability to improve insulin sensitivity, protect the pancreas, and reduce inflammation makes it one of the most powerful and accessible tools we have in the fight against high blood sugar. But to truly succeed, remember it needs its team. Magnesium to unlock its potential, vitamin K2 to ensure safety and synergy, and B vitamins to protect against damage and fuel your cells. If you have been struggling, feeling lost and frustrated with your blood sugar management, this information should serve as a beacon of hope. It's a new avenue to explore, a new strategy to implement. The first step is knowledge, and the next is action. Consider asking your doctor for a simple blood test to check your vitamin D and magnesium levels. Begin learning about nutrient-dense foods that support your metabolic health, and explore high-quality supplements to bridge the gap that modern life has created. You are not powerless in this fight. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal and rebalance itself, provided you give it what it needs. Sometimes the most profound solutions aren't the most complicated ones. Sometimes they are as simple and as fundamental as the light from the sun. By embracing this knowledge, you can move from a place of frustration to a place of empowerment, taking control of your health one small, powerful step at a time.